Hi everyone, welcome to Honest Nail Advice, a series where you guys send me pictures of your problematic nails and I try to figure out what's going on with them and help you improve the situation. Like I promised, I am trying to do these videos once a week and I received quite a few requests. So unfortunately, I'm not able to do videos for all of them. But if you would like to guarantee for me to look at your nails and send you a video like this in private, I definitely can do that. I have a service and I'm going to leave a link to that service below. All right, so with this person, her goal is to have beautiful hands for her engagement and a wedding in a year or so. So she used to bite her nails and she doesn't know what to do next because obviously stopping biting nails is very difficult, and I can definitely share some experience because I used to bite my nails. And I'm a bit of a picker as well, but I found ways to improve it. Anyway, so let's look at the pictures first and then I'll go over the email. So first of all, she did a very good job with stopping biting and her nails actually look very good. And by the way, quality of pictures makes a huge difference because as you can see, I can zoom in and I can see in detail what's happening with the skin around the nails and what's happening with the nail surface. So I explain how to take pictures for the service that I provide in a link below, but you can also use that advice if you would like a free advice basically on YouTube here as well. Okay, so this is interesting because this is her right hand and this is her left hand. So there is quite a lot of difference in the skin around her nails, but we can discuss that later. By the way, the nails are really nice and healthy and they have grown out beautifully. So, I mean, you're very lucky because not everyone that bites their nails has their nails this nice, because sometimes unfortunately the nail bed changes and the nails stay quite short. The nail bed, I mean, stays short and the nails kind of don't reattach. Sometimes, not always. So she says, I've been a biter most of my life. I've also always picked at my skin to bleeding. The last couple months, I have finally made changes and I'm happy so far to see small results. I think they're good results, very good results, but I'm still very insecure about my nails. I just find them to be very unpleasant, especially the roughness. I guess you mean the roughness, the skin around the nails, right? Because the nails are nice and smooth. So the newest development, since I have struggled to stop picking, it is very difficult. I think they say it's more difficult to quit biting nails than quit smoking. I'm not sure. No, I think smoking was more difficult to quit than cocaine or something like that. Never mind. Anyway, let's go back to the nails. The newest development since I have struggled to stop picking is the calluses that have formed on the side of my ring fingers. The skin below my nail on my pointers is also raised. The skin below my nail on the pointers is raised, much improved. I suppose the raise is sort of callous too from picking. Okay, so let's just look at the pointer's nails. Okay, so I don't see any skin raised here under the nail. So I'm not sure if she means like around the nail here or under the nail, like if you look at this way. Okay, so I can see a little bit of a callus here. Yeah, it could be that just from picking. So it's really important to understand how the skin works, and then we know a little bit better how to take care of the skin, how to improve the skin. So the skin usually hardens, develops callus, develops thickness from some kind of irritation or friction or pressure. So that usually happens on our feet, right? So definitely picking can cause that. And yes, I can see some I wouldn't even call it a callus. To me, from what I'm seeing, almost looks like an inflammation, which that is something that you have to be very careful with, because sometimes nail biting and picking can cause like a very chronic inflammation around the nails. So you want to make sure you really try to address that. Ah, yeah, I can see that here too. Okay, so this looks, yeah, this looks like it's from picking. And sometimes we don't, when we pick, it's very subconscious and you don't realize that you're picking. So I know it's easy for people to say, well, just stop picking or stop biting your nails, because quitting a habit is very difficult. It's much easier to replace habits. So when it comes to quitting something, it is very difficult to just stop doing something. I know people just say, well, just stop biting your nails or stop picking your skin, but that is very difficult. It is much easier to replace that habit with something else. So what I suggest for someone is, instead of really fixating on the biting part or on the picking part, start thinking of your skin and your nails in a more positive way. So start finding ways to care for your skin, and that's going to be your new habit. She says also, I have also noticed excess skin climbing up the nails since they have started to grow. Okay, so the skin does not climb and it does not crawl, like some people say. What happens is that when that skin, we can see it on just a couple nails, so it's not bad whatsoever. When that skin is stuck to the nail, the skin fold, really, the edge of the skin fold, as the nail is growing, it's pulling that skin with it, and then the skin stretches. And very often what happens when that skin is dry and it's not elastic and it doesn't bounce back nicely, it tears, and this is what happens. So in order to improve the situation, what I would suggest is establishing a very good and very simple routine that you can follow long term. Very gentle manicures once a week. Just make sure that the shape of the nails is nice and smooth, that you can just follow the shape of the nail bed. That's perfectly fine. That there was no little snags, because I know personally this would drive me crazy, this little snag, and probably this is why you end up picking. To make sure that this is really nice and smooth. In many of my videos you will see that after I file the nails, after I shape the nails, I go with the sponge file and I just smooth bevel the free edge so it's not as sharp. That really helps as well. If you are prone to kind of like running your fingers around your nails, I do that. So if there is something that I can catch, it's going to really bother me. But make sure you don't buff the surface of the nail. The surface of the nail is really nice and healthy. It's really nice and shiny. It's perfect. So I wouldn't do absolutely anything about the surface of your nails. Now, the next thing that I would do is to use something like Carousel. Start using it every night. Let me just see the rest of the nails, because if there is like excessive redness or inflammation, then sometimes the Carousel, maybe it's not the best idea, but I think it should be fine. Yeah, I think it should be fine. So very small amount, and I think sometimes people use too much of the Carousel because they go through the tube, I don't know, in a month or so, which is way too much. So you want to grab like a rice grain amount, and that probably is enough for both of your hands. Actually, I have a very good video that I'm very proud of doing. It's actually doing very well on the channel. 3 habits that will improve your nails. So one of them is applying the Carousel. The other one is nudging the skin back. Now, first of all, it is very important to know the difference between pushing and nudging. And this is why I started to use the words nudging instead of pushing, because people go literally, they really push the skin. They scrape the nail and they push the skin. In this area, the nails forming underneath here, this area is very sensitive to any trauma. And these lines are usually from trauma from just picking. This is very classic, very, very common. So with this type of skin, you don't even have to do any nudging, or if you do, just to kind of develop that habit, you can do that, but do it very, very gently. You don't want to be, you just kind of want to go through the movement, I guess, and through the routine, but not really pushing anything too much. Same thing with this, because that skin is not really stuck. Just nudge it very, very gently. This skin, again, you want to, so the cuticle is here. And this is why it is so important to use the proper terms, because you don't worry about the cuticle. This is the least of your worries. So the skin around the nails here, this is the skin fold. This is the skin fold really is this whole area, proximal nail fold. This is the front edge really of the skin fold, and it's literally a fold. The cuticle is actually in between the nail plate and the skin fold, and it is actually produced by the underside of the skin fold. These are like little skin cells that are dropping off, that are being produced by underside of the skin fold to kind of make they're very sticky to keep that skin stuck to the nail, right? So we don't want to be really separating this too much, obviously. We just want to be nudging it. And then as the nail is growing, the cuticle starts peeking through. And if we're not using exfoliants or anything like that, that skin is sometimes visible, the skin cells here, the cuticle. So we don't really nudge the cuticle. You can't really nudge the cuticle. You nudge the skin fold. Okay, here, skin fold. And the cuticle, and why is the cuticle here and not here? Why do we only remove the cuticle from here? Because if the cuticle passes, because this becomes like almost like a groove. When you look at the nail, there is this area that it is lower than this part of the nail, right? So from this part, if there was a cuticle, it gets exfoliated, removed when we are washing our hands, when we're drying our hands. But this is a little groove, and that's why the cuticle is still there. I would definitely at this point not be using any Blue Cross to remove the cuticle. And why? Because the skin here, it is a little bit inflamed, and you don't want to be using anything that's irritating on the skin that is already irritated. This has to calm down. This is really important because you really, truly do not want to develop like a chronic inflammation of the skin folds or even the nail bed. Sometimes it happens when people bite their nails or pick. I don't want to scare you definitely, but this is an important thing to know, that this can get really bad when left untreated. Also, what you can do, if you don't have Carousel at this point, if you have to order it, just use Vaseline at night. It's a very good occlusive that's very gentle to the skin. And I mean, Vaseline has become really famous in the last, I don't know, few months or a year or something, because some dermatologists, they talk a lot about it. And I've heard claims that they say, oh, all you need is Vaseline around your nails. Not really, because I mean, Vaseline is great, but it's almost like looking for a perfect food item. So someone would argue it's, I don't know, chicken breast. Someone would say it's fish. Someone would say it's blueberries. So just like we have many different foods in order to have a healthy diet, there are many ingredients that are beneficial to the skin. Vaseline is one of them, absolutely. And if I see any irritation and the cuts and the redness, I would say Vaseline or Aquaphor or something like that until that heals, and then start using exfoliants because you want that skin to calm down first. So what I would say first, try to use the Vaseline, and then when you get the Carousel, start using Carousel. Another thing that I would absolutely recommend is to develop this habit of applying 1 drop of oil, or I can shamelessly plug my Solve to use on the skin around the nails after each hand wash. And I know it seems excessive, but it really, really does work, and it softens the skin, because what happens is when we wash our hands, we're stripping the skin, especially when we are using very alkaline soaps. So any type of like those bar soaps, honestly, they're really bad. So I recommend, there's few cleansers that I personally would absolutely recommend, and I'm going to put them in the description box below. The cleanser is very important, because if that cleanser is very alkaline, that can disrupt the skin barrier, and it can cause a lot of issues with inflammation, with irritation, with other issues. So gentle cleanser only, and then after the cleanser, small amount of the Solve or oil after each hand wash. Now you want to add also, that is very helpful, a lotion or cream if it doesn't bother you, like a small amount of cream with urea and some sort of acid, like lactic acid or salicylic acid, things like that. And apply a small amount of that cream or lotion after each hand wash, and the skin is going to improve. Many people are asking me, what is my favorite cream? You know what? Everyone is different, and everyone's situation is different. Because, for example, some people live in a very humid climates like here, and it's humid even in the winter. So I don't have as many problems with dry skin as people that live, for example, in New York or Toronto, where I used to live, which it was super dry in the winter because of the amount of heat that we had to put into our homes. Depending on the needs, you might want to just see what works for you. Every skin is different as well. And like I said, everyone's circumstances are different. So that skin eventually is going to become smoother, and then you're going to be less likely to pick. So, saying don't pick is not really helpful. The skin has to heal and become softer, and then you won't have the urge to pick. And also to wrap things up, weekly maintenance, because you don't want the nails to become too long and then they start breaking, and that will drive you crazy as well. So keeping them nicely shaped, it just makes everything looks put together. Also, I know it sounds silly, but I know it really works for me. That application of oil after each hand wash. I know if I have something that is bothering me, applying just a drop of oil and just look, because sometimes what it is, it's we see something and it just bothers us, so we think we have to like pick at it to help it a little bit. But you know what, just put a drop of oil and just rub it in and it improves instantly. So this is what I would recommend. Try to develop a habit with just a gentle massage, which actually will help the skin because it will improve the circulation. So just massage that oil or that salve into the nails, like just give it 10 seconds for each nail and just massage it in. And it's going to absorb it a little bit better. It's going to be definitely less greasy, but it's also going to help the skin and the nails as well. So you know what? I would love, 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 and I'm sure that our viewers would also love to see your nails in a month or two and see how you did with this advice. So if you would be so kind to please send me pictures, and then I can maybe put a quick video together, and that probably will give you a bit of a push to really take care of your skin. And then I can put side by side the pictures and let you know what I see and how the skin has improved. Because you know what, now you have photos. That is one of the most important things. And now you can, when you look at the pictures, and I swear this is about training your brain to think in a different way. Then what I do, I look at the improvements. I mean, obviously, if there is something, the nails look worse, then you're like, okay, something is going on. But if there are improvements, pay attention to those improvements and fall in love with the progress. Because sometimes what happens is we look at the picture and we're like, okay, this is just terrible, but it's not very productive. It's not helping us. We just become depressed because the hands are not looking the way we want to. But trust me, a little progress over a long period of time, it adds up amazingly and can create amazing results. Actually, I have a video of a person who just used such basic technique. This is why I have this silly title about not what you think, because people normally, when they see this kind of improvement, they kind of think, oh my God, it's some miracle product that now she's using. And no, she didn't use any miracle. All she did was basically she followed my simple advice of how to take care of the nails and the skin around her nails. The the results are so stunning that people are actually questioning if these nails are fake or not. They're not fake. And I know how to spot anything that has been applied on the nails. I've been a nail technician for almost 30 years. And when I have good quality images like I do from that person and I can blow it up, I can tell you 100% her nails are real. So I would love to hear from you in a month or two. And I'm sure our viewers also are going to be very interested. And if you are interested, please give this person some encouragement in the comment section. I'm sure that she would really appreciate it because I know how tough it is with biting and picking and stuff. But trust me, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.